My name is Osaze Odenge. Keep listening to Femi and the gang on Nigeria Info FM.
In this competition that always startles. It's been a fortnight since we last went on this travel, and tonight there's certainly so much to unravel as the smaller teams will be trying to hold firm like a gravel, while the top sides will be aiming to make us marvel. It is time for our coverage of the most exciting club football competition on earth, the UEFA Champions League. And tonight serves us with 8 games, 6 of which kick off by 8 p.m. our time. We have Galatasaray against PSG, Red Star Belgrade hosting Olympiacos, Manchester City trading tackles with Dynamo Zagreb, Juventus playing against Bayer Leverkusen, and Lokomotiv Moscow coming up against Atletico Madrid. Our star focus though will be the battle in London as Tottenham Hotspur hosts Bayern Munich, hoping not to be undone. My name is Chuma Nnoli, your commentator for this fixture. And with me tonight are great guys with the best mixture, so we can paint for you the perfect picture. Let's say hi to Ufoma Igbamuno, who joins me on a glorious Tuesday evening as this one for tantalizing UEFA Champions League action. Welcome, Foskolo.
A very good evening to you, Chuma. Good evening to that one person who's out there listening to the broadcast and, of course, hoping to get the very best as it concerns the UEFA Champions League. Well, we will try as much as possible to bring that, and, of course, you've mentioned that our concentration will be on the big one at the new Tottenham Stadium, where they will be hoping to upstage the German champions by Bayern Munich. But of course, action in England, where of course the champions this time in England, Manchester City, will entertain Dynamo Zagreb. Lots of action, Choma, and hopefully we'll see great goals the same way we've seen in the first 2 early kickoffs, where some shocking results, I dare say.
And we also do have in-house this evening Samuel Akpan. Good evening to you, Samuel. Certainly some nights to anticipate, and it's good to know you're here to participate.
Yeah, always excited on UEFA Champions League night, Chuma. Good evening, Chuma. Good evening, Ufoma. Good evening to the listener out there. Fantastic to be here on a very, very wet Independence Day in Nigeria. Congratulations, Nigeria, once again. But talking about the football, interesting games to look forward to. I am excited, and it doesn't come any bigger than Tottenham against Bayern Munich. Fantastic game to look forward to. I'm set, so let's go.
All right, so let's get straight away now to the London Stadium, where we take you through the starting lineup for the respective sides. Spurs are the home side, Bayern Munich certainly the visitors, but hoping that they can get something positive tonight in this fixture on match day 2 of the UEFA Champions League. We have for Spurs, in between the sticks for them, goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, as quality in defence, Jan Vertonghen and Toby Alderweireld partnering as centre-backs. From the full-back positions, there's Danny Rose from the left side and Sergio Rey from the right side. You have to look ahead to Danny, make that Harry winks now. He's going to be hoping that he's going to enjoy the game so well that he'll be winking at his rivals. And there's Musa Sissoko also in that Spurs midfield alongside Ndombele. Well, it's good to have back Dele Alli, hoping to add his spark to this team. And there's Son Heung-min and Harry Kane as the players the Spurs will be hoping upon to score the goals for them tonight. The action is just about to get underway, and it is Bayern with the red top on the red shirt. The visitors, they have started proceedings for us. Tottenham Hotspur, reminding me of my secondary school days, white top on the white shirt. And of course they are attacking from left to right for Bayern Munich. They are playing from right to left. And for the German side, we just have to tell you about the players on the field of play for them, as Tottenham, we're just trying to create something quite early. Basically 30 seconds we've seen here. Dele Alli has already been guilty of pushing down the Bayern player. And it's going to be a goal kick for the German side. Set to be taken by the goalkeeper. Germany's number 1, Manuel Neuer. Is he number 2 these days, with the tussle between himself and Marc-Andre Stegen, the first choice for Barcelona? In defense, we have a player who may be a defender, but sometimes his passes look like one that he lent while in Harvard. His name is Pavard. He's playing as the right back for Bayern. And we have the left back. There's the quality of Olatokunbo Alaba. I just had to add that part so you know his Nigerian connections in case you missed out on that. We have Boateng and Sule as the centre-back partnership for the German champions, the team that have won the Bundesliga title for 7 successive seasons, as we have said. Gnabry now, the former Arsenal man, coming through with a strike. Great save by Hugo Lloris. What a fantastic start for Bayern Munich after just a minute and a half in this one. Serge Gnabry has played in the Premier League before now. He understands what it's like to face Premier League opposition. And at that moment, he was in the right position. Sadly for him, the shot was saved by France's number 1, a World Cup winner, Hugo Lloris, who basically had to get that one right. Before I return to you, more of the players in this starting lineup for Bayern. Ufoma, what a bright start that one is for Bayern.
Definitely, Chuma, over the weekend, they did play Paderborn, won by 3 goals to 2. And of course, Serge Gnabry and the man who's on loan from Barcelona, Philippe Coutinho, where, the 2 guys who tormented Jamiu Collins' side got a goal and assist in that particular one. And you want to think that, of course, he has been in fantastic form. No surprises. That move from Arsenal, a couple of years ago, it didn't look like it was going to be profitable, especially after not getting so much playing time at West Brom, where he first went on loan. But the man has been absolutely amazing, and it's of course the reason why Bayern decided it was time to let the likes of Frank Ribery and the Dutch international, his name skips my memory right now. It was time to let them go because they knew that they had these youngsters in Serge Gnabry and of course the French international Kingsley Coman.
Yeah, to take over from Iron Robin.
Exactly, who can do that. Even
and here they come through again. Ufoma, these Bayern side really starting like a house on fire, and these seem to know what they require to go higher. And it is the former Barcelona man. Well, you could argue that he still does have a chance to return to Spain and fight for a place in that setup, doesn't he? But is strutting his stuff now for Bayern. Coutinho, another player who also has Premier League experience, courtesy of his glorious days as a star for Liverpool. It looks like the ex-Premier League boys are the ones who really are showing the quality here in the early stages of this fixture at the London Stadium. More like familiar territory for them. 4 minutes we have seen Tottenham just trying to create something that they have not enjoyed since the game kicked off, but then dispossessed again by a confident Bayern side. We have Joshua Kimmich and Tolisso as players playing just ahead of the back 4 for the German side. Serge Gnabry, a name I've called already. He's going to be coming through from the right side of attack for Bayern. And we have Coutinho from the centre. He certainly knows how to orchestrate the magic, doesn't he? And there's Kingsley Coman from the left side of attack too. But the point man, the man that Bayern will be depending upon for the goals for them tonight, is a man who never gets tired, maybe 31 years of age, but is still always fired to score goals. That's Robert Lewandowski, the Polish international. Tell you a bit more about him as we go on, but now we're having a chance for Pavard to feel the ball itself since he kicked off, and he finds Boateng. Boateng puts it through to Sule, who was waiting for that. David Alaba certainly has come into the picture himself too. Some great interchange of passes put through by the 7-time German champions Bayern. You listen to the anthem and it says FC Bayern forever number 1. They have not been number 1 in Europe since 2012, and they won the UEFA Champions League title. And they certainly will be hoping to get back to winning ways. The sports come through. Son Min-hoon, 1-on-1, strike taken. Manuel Neuer with a save. End-to-end stuff this is turning into after just 5 minutes, Samuel.
Brilliant play from Tottenham Hotspur. The first time they did break forward. So question of offside there, but I don't think that was that's going to be given. But poor finish there from Heung-min Son. You expect him to do better. Not a convincing finish in it. But I must give credit to Tanga and Dombele in the midfield in the build-up to that one. Great play from him. I think Tottenham need this man to be fully fit for them to get anything in this one. But great play from Tottenham, even as they come again.
Well, they took that corner kick coming through from the left side of attack. And they opted to take his shot to Son Min-hoon, who tried to dance but was not given a chance by the defense of Bayern. So we have seen 2 good saves from the goalkeepers of each side. Manuel Neuer for the German team and Hugo Lloris for the English bunch. Both goalkeepers world class in their respective right. France and Germany, their national teams. As we have some interplay now between Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen. Vertonghen is showing that he can have solidity in that defense. David Alaba gets the ball now after a long ball by Spurs. Back to the half of Bayern, who find Pavard, an intelligent player who sometimes looks like he schooled in Harvard. This time around he misplaced his clearance. Okay, the good news was there was a deflection there, so it's another throwing for Bayern. Niko Kovac, the manager of this side. It's been 7 good years since the last tasted success in Europe, and he's going to be hoping he can be the man to make that happen for them and break that duck. Well, we do have 5 other matches taking place simultaneously in the UEFA Champions League as things get underway in those fixtures. Ufo-man Samuel will sure let you in on it later on today. Just to remind you that we saw 2 matches. Bucci took his time to take you through the closing stages of the one at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, didn't he? Something that was good enough to break the heart of Ufoma, who did not expect that.
I never expected it.
Real Madrid going 2 goals down before fighting back to play out a 2-2 draw against Club Brugge, a team who are trying to get the last straw after getting a couple of goals from Emmanuel Dennis. And then Casemiro and Sergio Ramos gave Real Madrid the right answers. So they've gotten just 1 point from the first 2 matches in this campaign. The other fixture that we had concluded earlier, so Atalanta not able to dance Atalanta, not in Italy, at least not for tonight, as they were beaten at home by a 0-0 against Shakhtar Donetsk.
2-1 actually.
I'll make that 2-1, pardon me.
Shakhtar actually scored, I think it was in the 90th minute. Atlanta got the penalty first in that game and lost it, before taking the lead. Duvan with a brilliant header. But Shakhtar showed why they are the champions in Ukraine and why they've almost always done well, at least get to round of 16 or quarterfinals in the UEFA Champions League. Got the equalizer just before we went into the halftime break, and then of course at 90th minute they got that final goal. Brilliant scoreline for them. As for Real Madrid, it was not so great performance, especially in the first 45 minutes. Ooh. But great news as it concerns Nigeria's Emmanuel got both goals for Club Brugge in that particular game. As for one of the games currently going on, my eyes actually on this one, Juventus at home against the German side, Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen, they lost to Lokomotiv Moscow in the first day of the UEFA Champions League, but since then they've won 2 games in the Bundesliga. Just about 2 minutes ago, we saw Kevin Volland with a volley from about 20 yards or thereabout, just on the edge of the 18-yard area, but did not trouble the Juve goalkeeper. Not much happening in this centre out there in Italy, Chuma.
Well, we had a bit of troubling scenes in London. Samuel will take us through that. Tottenham Hotspur against Bayern Munich.
Well, it was a bit of a harsh stamp there from Serge Aurier. Just
before you come through, we have Son Min-hoon with a strike again. This did not have the right power to it, and perhaps he had the option of squaring the ball through to an on-rushing Harry Kane, but opted to be selfish. Well, it's understandable for an attack-minded player, isn't it? But didn't have the right shot and power to that. Manuel Neuer had to go down low, like Olamide will say, to save that one very comfortably. And back to the incident we had some minutes back, Samuel.
Yes, it was a stamp from Serge Aurier, the Ivorian, on the German defender there, that's David Alaba, or the Austrian defender, I beg your pardon, Alaba there. And always controversial, Serge Aurier. You could say that there was no real malicious intent in that one, but it was a two-footed stamp on him, and he clearly felt the pain there. But referee deciding that it was just a follow-through action there, nothing to be, to fault the defender there for. So lucky escape for him.
Well, lucky escape, and so far it has been 2 shots on goal for Tottenham, 1 for Bayern after 11 minutes at the ever beautiful Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. £1 billion, the amount of money that they had to spend to put this together. You don't want to convert that to Nigerian naira, do you? As Robert Lewandowski tries to convert a chance for Bayern. Quick turn by the Polish striker. But then the final ball again didn't have as much power, and so was easily saved by goalkeeper Hugo Lloris of Tottenham Hotspur. This is really turning out to become a game living up to the hype, seen as the star match on the lineup for tonight. And after what we have seen in the first 12 minutes, I dare say there's so much more to come in this. Bayern, misplaced pass, chance for another shot by Son Min-hoon. The distance between the goalkeeper and the goalpost was very narrow, but he put through the strike that pierced into the back of the net like an arrow. And right now the fans of Tottenham Hotspur have their excitement levels to Mount Kilimanjaro. Son Min-hoon has put Spurs ahead. They lead by 1-0 after 12 minutes at the London Stadium against German champions Bayern Munich.
You have to say it's been coming, Choma. There's been loads and loads of end-to-end stuff, even as we see a replay of that one. It was a careless pass there from one of the Bayern players and fell nicely to, was that Ndombele or Sissoko?
Ndombele.
Who just squared that one for Heung-min Son, who didn't bother taking a second touch. First touch, even though it looked like it was an acute angle, wouldn't mind. Diagonal back across, the other side of Manuel Neuer's post, his right-hand side, and straight into the back of the net. Great start to this one out there from London.
Well, the man had been asking a few questions. Now he's gotten the answer. And after scoring that, he just showed us he can be a good dancer. His side Spurs lead by 1-0 against Bayern. He had 2 of his previous shots saved by Manuel Neuer. But at the third time of asking, Neuer could do nothing about that one. Had a finger or two to it, but then the ball was too powerful and went past the German goalkeeper into the back of the net of the German side. Spurs come through again. Some interchange of passes. Really enjoying this one from the neutral's perspective. These sides don't have that much history when it comes to the UEFA Champions League since this competition got that nomenclature in 1992. They have actually never met. Previous meetings in Europe have been 4 experiences, but you have to go back to over 35 years ago in 1982. The last time these teams met each other. So there's not that much of recent history to tap into. Even though you can remember in a hurry that we saw them play in a preseason game building up to the start of this new campaign. It ended 2-2, that one at the Allianz Arena. A bit of an alliance between the two sides, but then they had to go into penalty shootouts. Tottenham winning that. That was not a competitive game, I should just remind you. Bayern, Pavard puts the ball back to Manuel Neuer. Neuer has the option of David Alaba, and he does that. Puts it through to the Polish man who has Nigerian connections. Bayern really have to take their time now to get back their composure after conceding a goal courtesy of some defensive exposure. Just around that halfway stage of the field. A long ball in there for Gnabry, hoping he can get it. The final ball did not work out as well as the former Arsenal man would have wanted, but the shot is taken!
Oh my word.
Fantastic strike! He had always shown he was a man on a mission. And when the time came through for him to take a decision, my word, did he execute that with so much precision. Bayern Munich have gotten the leveler here in the 15th minute of this game. And I'm wondering how that happened. from about 25 yards out or more, Ufoma.
Well, it was actually a very well taken goal by Joshua Kimmich. Kingsley Coman actually, or Serge Gnabry from the right hand side, unmarked, and you wonder how he was given that much time and space. He crossed that ball into the area for the unmarked Robert Lewandowski, who took it on his chest. But his second touch tried to find someone in the 18-yard area. Unfortunately for them, at that point in time, it was cleared by the Tottenham defense. But it fell nicely for Joshua Kimmich. 23 yards out from goal. Took it, first touch, second touch too, of course, put it very well. And then hit a curling shot, which, of course, the French international goalkeeper absolutely did not see coming. And Chuma, just as I talk about that, Juventus have taken the lead out there, and it's that man who played for Chelsea last season, Gonzalo Higuain, on the edge of the 18-yard area. The fans showing, of course, pictures or banners with his face, hitting that shot to the right-hand side of the Leverkusen goalkeeper, but his outstretched arm unable to get onto that one. And of course, the old lady take the lead in this one. Great ball coming from the also former Chelsea player. What's his name again? Cuadrado. But he didn't get to Gonzalo Higuain at that point in time. He hit the back of I think Jonathan Tah, and then fell nicely for Gonzalo Higuain, whose first touch was absolutely amazing. Dropped that one, and of course hit it to the right hand side of the goalkeeper. 1-0 in favor of the Italian champions.
Turning out to become some exciting night for us, this one. And not just Tottenham against Bayern Munich, where Joshua Kimmich has scored his first goal in 2 games so far in the UEFA Champions League. We're not done with this yet, so he has a chance to find the back of the net even more often. And Juventus, like Ufoma just told us, taking the lead to us. Harry Kane comes through, puts the ball beyond goalkeeper Manuel Neuer at an empty net. What a final defensive clearance coming through there by Bayern. David Alaba, the man, at the right place at the right time, stopping Spurs from scoring a second in this. After Kane went past goalkeeper Manuel Neuer, thought he was going to find the back of the net for the first time in the match. And there was Alaba putting that out for another corner kick for Spurs. What a frenetic fixture this is turning out to be. Frantic defending at that time for Spurs. The arrivals, Bayern, of course. David Alaba, Spurs take their corner kick now from the left side of attack. And they're coming through now. Going to be a chance for a cross to come in. Dele Alli, guilty of one touch too many. Dispossessed, but he's back to Spurs against Sissoko. Puts it through to that left side. Confident play by the finalists in the Champions League last season. Ball crossed in, another deflection. Great job by Ndombele. Corner kick again for Spurs, coming through from that left side. You really have to give it to Ndombele. New signing for the London-based side. And my word, is he having some huge impact in the quality of this team.
Indeed, he is. Ndombele, fantastic. You can see the reason why they brought him all the way from Lyon for record money for the club to come play for Tottenham Hotspur, and he's been delivering. The last couple of games he's been out injured, but he's come back into the sides, and you can see early signs of his quality, how much they missed him and how much is needed. But questionable goalkeeping for me from both goalkeepers, Manuel Neuer and of course Hugo Lloris in this one. For both goals, I thought for the Bayern equalizer, maybe Manuel Neuer could have done better. You could say the quality of the shot was premium, but then he didn't count any steps before making that that attempt to stop that ball. And then again, for the German goalkeeper, you could say he went down too late and couldn't prevent that one from going in. But then again, we must give credit to the goal scorers. Fantastic strikes from both of them, and deservedly both teams are level in this game.
Well, at the moment we have 5 other matches that we have our eyes on to, right here on the nation's first news talk and a sports radio station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're bringing to you live coverage of dramatic action as it unfolds from the most exciting club competition on earth, the UEFA Champions League. As Bayern come through from the left side, and now they can have their own corner kick. Kingsley Coman is showing that he's not just a showman, but also can exude quality. So the corner kick is going to be taken by Filippo Coutinho, the former Liverpool star. Coutinho puts it through from that left side. It's an in-swinger. Spurs with a good clearance. Out for another corner kick, this time around from the far side, which is the right side of attack for Bayern. As I quickly tell you that it's Galatasaray playing against PSG. As things stand, even Stevens over there. Red Star Belgrade Olympiacos also goalless as we have the corner kick taken by Bayern. It's an out-swinger. Coutinho with a chance for a shot. He takes it. Didn't get the right direction he wanted. It was more like it was one that went straight at goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, who has saved again. It's amazing how busy both goalkeepers have been in the first 21 minutes of this match. What a great atmosphere. And so far the game is living up to all the pre-match hype. Well, Manchester City have all the hype around them when it comes to the goal-scoring abilities, don't they? But are yet to find the back of the net against Dinamo Zagreb at the Etihad. And we have Juventus leading Bayer Leverkusen by a goal to nothing. As Lokomotiv Moscow and Atletico Madrid, as things stand, are sharing the spoils after 21 minutes. Even Stevens, goalless. As we get ourselves back to the action at the London Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Bayern Munich 1. Spurs taking the lead courtesy of Son Min-hoon. And Bayern giving them the right response through some brilliant strike by Joshua Kimmich. Seen a few chances come the way of either side. And they've not been able to consolidate on the one that they've had each. Ndombele Do has a chance for another corner kick for Spurs. It's going to be an out-swinger coming through from the near side. Right side of attack for the English team. He puts it through Ndombele, but Bayern are resilient enough to clear their lines. The ball finds his way all the way back. A chance for Sissoko to get into the thick of the action himself, I should say. Sergio Rey also coming into the picture. Spurs not that much in a hurry. They don't want to make mistakes and feel sorry. So they certainly need clear vision and not one that's blurry. Still playing around with the possession in their half. And finally they're coming under some level of pressure from Bayern. But we have Sergio Rey putting the ball through back to Toby Alderweireld, who finds his goalkeeper Hugo Lloris. Lloris has the option of the Vertonghen and goes for that. Vertonghen coming under some level of intense pressure by Bayern. But Spurs are still resilient enough to hold on to the possession. Get the throwing in the process on the far side. Son Min-hoon gets the ball thrown at him. Chance for Sergio Rey to orchestrate something, but the ball is taken off him by Bayern. Coutinho is out-muzzled by Ndombele, who really has been an integral part of Tottenham's performance in the less than half an hour football that we've seen here. 1982, Spurs won by 2 goals to nothing when these sides met in London. May have been 35 years ago and not in the UEFA Champions League, but it could just be some inspiration for Spurs here. A team who narrowly missed out on winning the Champions League title last season. You could argue they were outclassed by Liverpool, but certainly worked so hard to get to that stage of the competition. A bit of lackadaisical attitude coming through there from a man who should have known better, Serge Gnabry, and was dispossessed of the ball by Harry Winks, held on to the jersey of Winks, and has now had his name taken down by the centre referee, even though it looks like Samuel does not buy into that card shown to Serge Gnabry.
No, not the card. I was talking about the incident itself. There was no need for him to do that. He was far away from the goal. Yes, the break looked like it was on for Tottenham Hotspur, but then again, Serge Gnabry should be, causing the opponents to commit these fouls against him and not gifting one to Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, Spurs themselves need a second goal, not as a gift. They want to work hard for it, and that's what they're trying to do here. Dele Alli, the man who had the chance, ball put out by Bayern for a throwing for Spurs on the near side. And the capital outfit can start rebuilding again. Alderweireld to Vertonghen. Vertonghen finds some threats through a pass into the half of Bayern.
Wow.
Ball goes to the right side. Fantastic job. Opportunity for Sergio Aurier to square it in. A shot from Dembele. Good save by Manuel Neuer. Fantastic play by Tottenham Hotspur. 4 passes. Final shot by Dembele. Neuer was alert. He certainly was not going to allow that one go beyond him into the back of the net. Corner kick taken by Spurs. They've had several already, and we've seen just 25 minutes here. What a game this is turning into, Ufoma.
Absolutely end-to-end stuff coming from right there. A little bit tough keeping eyes on 2 games, but it's quite enjoyable, to be honest. 1 minute it's Bayern who are threatening to actually get the second goal. The other minute Tottenham with 4 passes just slice open the Bayern midfield and defense all together. And what a vision from Sergio Aurier. Just when everybody was thinking he was going to roll that one across the face of goal, he had the F1 some would say, to actually cut it back for the unmarked Dembele. And I thought Dembele, even though he hit the target, possibly should be doing better. It was a straight shot at Manuel Neuer. And even though Neuer has come under criticisms in recent times, we want to think that that's not going to beat him anytime soon. But if he had found either of the angles, we would have been talking about Tottenham leading by 2-1 right now.
I know from very quickly, the pass from I think Harry Winks to find the right back there was absolutely brilliant. Fantastic vision from to switch play from left to right was absolutely pristine to see. So great play from Tottenham. They've been very, very, I mean, the way they go on the break is very, very ferocious. And I think Bayern at this point are really struggling to keep up with the pace of Tottenham Hotspur. When you've got Son, when you've got Kane, when you've got the Ndombele as well, it's always going to be difficult for you. So great job by Tottenham.
But our go good, that's
the most important one. That's the most important thing here.
Well, we have a free kick now for Spurs. You could say these days, courtesy of his consistency, it's Riyad Mahrez's territory. May not be from his preferred right side of attack that gives him the advantage with his left foot. This is from the left side of attack for Spurs. Harry Kane stands over the ball. There's also Danny Rose and here Rose. And we just have to see what Spurs can do with this. 28 minutes on the clock at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Harry Kane is going to take the free kick. He does. It's over the wall, but it's also over the bar. Was always rising that one. Not enough to trouble goalkeeper Manuel Neuer. Neuer needed no defense, not even from a lawyer. Well, it is Champions League action tonight, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. My name is Chuma Nali, alongside Ufoma Igbamuno and Samuel Akpan. As we let you know that we've hit the half-hour mark in some centres. A bit of risky play by Bayern. Boateng and Manuel Neuer almost cut out by an onrushing Spurs attacker. It amazes me really how confident more teams are becoming in their quest to play from behind. And I feel not everybody can do that like Manchester City or maybe Barcelona. But Spurs come through now again. Bodies all over the place for Bayern just to clear the lines for themselves. Ndombele looks tonight like Toure really has been all over the place. You have to give credit to a man who has settled in very quickly into a new territory. The Frenchman, 22 years of age, well, looks much older than that. Has found the back of the net twice already in the Premier League for Spurs this season. Now, this is the Champions League, and he's also going to be hoping to score his first goal tonight, at least with the kind of quality that he's been accentuating so far. Finally, the half-hour mark has come upon us in London. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Bayern Munich 1. Feel free to drop your thoughts and comments with us through our Twitter handle. And that one that's always lighted up like a candle at Nigeria Info FM. That's our Nigeria Info FM. And you can also watch us live on Facebook as we're streaming as I speak to you. You can drop your comments on Facebook too. We'll take them as many as we can as we go on. But here's the chance again for Spurs. Son Min-hoon gets the ball in the penalty area. Bayern takes a shot. Hits the side netting. Spurs really have been showcasing brilliance here. They cannot be guilty of not trying. They have been guilty of perhaps not being more precise with the shots. They've had 7 attempts on goal, 5 have been on target. And if you thought Bayern were sleeping, well, Bayern have had 4 shots on target in these two. And we've seen only just, 30 minutes or thereabouts in this. Shows you the intent and attacking brilliance of either side in this. That's a throwing for Tottenham. Is that for Bayern? It looks like it's going to be for Bayern. Kingsley Coman was hoping it's going to come his way, but Coutinho was the man who was picked instead to get the ball through the throwing. Another one on the far side for Bayern. A team who have a good away record in the Champions League in recent times. In fact, they have found a way to remain unbeaten in their last 9 European away fixtures and have kept a clean sheet in 3 of their last 4 on the road. Well, they're not going to keep a clean sheet tonight because they've conceded 1 already. Well, they'll be hoping that they can maintain that unbeaten run and that unbeaten streak. And this is actually their 23rd Champions League group campaign. Last season they got through to the round of 16, finishing top of their group. But guess what? When they got there, they were beaten by an English side, Liverpool, over 2 legs. Liverpool eventually going on to win a prestigious crown and leaving Bayern fans on their faces with a frown. For Tottenham Hotspur, we know how close they got last season, also losing to the same Liverpool side this time around in the final proper. Bayern coming through with their red top on their red shot. Crosses swung in from the left side of attack. Robert Lewandowski was trying to get connection with that and was stopped by a man who will not be bullied at all because he knows his worth, and Jan Vertonghen. 2 players who are quite tall, 6'2" plus, and you think that both know their abilities and will not be forced to become a coward by any other.
Chuma, Lewandowski has hardly had a sniff in this game so far. You expect him to, be orchestrating things or leading the line for Bayern Munich in this one, but he's been stifled off possession thanks to the defensive pair for, Tottenham Hotspur. Maybe at some point he will come good in this game. Certainly not on that occasion, but he has a pretty amazing record. 39 goals scored in Champions League games. I think only Raul or Van Nistelrooy has a better record against an English opponent, so it's quite good for him as a player, as a striker. But in this game, he's hardly had anything to do, starved off possession, like I mentioned earlier. So credit to the Tottenham defense, Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen doing a yeoman's job on him and keeping him really quiet. I mean, if you keep Lewandowski quiet in a game, Bayern rarely gets sniff of chance. And the new squad, that's the Cobra squad, Kingsley Coman and Serge Gnabry, are not, they're not living up to the billing like the Robbery squad used to do. That Ribery and Robben in time past. You can say yes, they are young players, still a lot of time to go, a lot of learning process for them, but at the moment Bayern just look a bit, not the same Bayern we used to know when these other guys were in the fold, but they still got quality inside anyway. Lewandowski and co, you expect them to step up to the plate at some point, but at the moment Tottenham are really doing a good job in keeping Lewandowski quiet.
Well, they are doing a good job. You can see same for the centre referee too, who we've hardly had to speak about. I'll get back to him shortly, but Bayern with a chance. Goes towards the side net. Kingsley Coman with that shot. That's quite low and hard, but did not have the right direction. For these sides, it is just a second experience in this season's UEFA Champions League campaign. And there's a long way to go before they can think of having to pop champagne, as we have the final of this season's competition set to take place on the 30th of May 2020 at the Olympiad Stadium in Turkey. That's the same stadium that hosted the 2005 Champions League final that Liverpool won against AC Milan. I'm sure it's going to be a pleasure of another English side, if not Liverpool, to get to that stage. Spurs will be hoping that side will be themselves. Bayern themselves will also be dreaming of something big. Well, we just have to get back to Foma now to keep us updated with the action elsewhere in the Champions League.
Well, it's not been that much action, to be honest, right there. The new Juventus Stadium where they take on Bayer Leverkusen. It's more of niggly fouls here and there, half chances created, a bit of frustration for Cristiano Ronaldo, not much in sync with his players. Since that goal from Gonzalo Higuain, not much has been created, to be honest.
Well, we can also, in that same mood, just quickly run through to the other centres. The one away from that game involving Juventus, and keep you updated with the other score lines. 37 minutes have come and gone in Turkey. Galatasaray against PSG, still 0-0. And you can say same for the fixture involving Red Star Belgrade and Olympiacos. Sergio Rey comes through for Tottenham Hotspur, finds Son Min-hoon in the penalty area. Is that Dele Ali actually? Ali was trying to put through a pass to Harry Kane, but couldn't get the right connection. And Bayern have put the ball out for another throwing on the near side for Spurs. Sergio Rey sticks it, finds Ndombele. Ore with the ball again, puts it through now to Son Min-hoon, who sent it all the way back to Sissoko. A few guys who look alike in this Spurs setup: Ndombele, Sissoko, and also Sergio Rey. As the centre referee comes now into the picture, Clément Turpin, the referee from France. He is 37 years of age, born on May 16, 1982. Well, if there's one thing that will give Tottenham Hotspur inspiration as regards the Frenchman handling this game, the last two fixtures he's taken charge of involving English teams in Europe have turned out to be victorious days for the English sides. Arsenal against Valencia, the Gunners won that by 3-1 in the UEFA Europa League, and he also took charge of the game involving Manchester City and Schalke 04 in the Champions League. Earlier this year in the month of March, Manchester City won that by 7-0. So that's going to help the psychology of Spurs players, and I hope they know about that stat. Nearer draws the time that shall surely be. The referee Clément Turpin will signal the end of the first 45. We are 7 minutes shy of that. It's still Tottenham Hotspur 1, Bayern Munich 1. And I'll quickly run through now to the Etihad Stadium, where Man City have been stopped from scoring so far after 39 minutes against Dynamo Zagreb. It's 0-0. Bayern now coming through themselves from the left side of attack. They're going to get another corner kick.
Juma, just as I let you know that Gonzalo Higuain could have doubled his lead, ball falling nicely for him on the edge of the 18th area, almost in the same spot where he got his first goal. I've just seen Mario Mandzukic applauding him for a wonderful strike he actually took, which was saved by the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper. It could have been Juventus getting their second and possibly protecting the chance of getting a win this evening, but unfortunately at that point in time the keeper was equal to the task.
Bayern and Spurs have cancelled each other out here, so I dare say they have been equal to the task, which is not to lose. Coutinho with the possession, push through a pass, all of these happening in the penalty area of Tottenham, who finally are able to get the ball off. Son Min-hoon, can he create something for them on the fast break or counter-attack? Well, he finds a player on the right side. Ndombele, he has seldom made a wrong touch in this game, but at that time of asking, he was guilty of that. I'm not too sure what exactly he wanted to do, chip the ball over the goalkeeper or put through a cross. Well, either way, he didn't get any right. Put the ball out for a goal kick for Bayern Munich.
Needs to take lessons from David Beckham on how to bend the ball.
And the rules are not being bent in other Champions League games tonight. It's Lokomotiv Moscow 0, Atletico Madrid 0. So we've had I was just about to say 2 matches in the live games that have given us goals, but now I can tell you of a goal somewhere. Olympiacos leading Red Star Belgrade by a goal to nothing. They have just found the back of the net, the Greek side. I'm sure they're getting the support of the Greek god. We're going to be watching that closely for you. But for Bayern and Tottenham Hotspur, contrasting performances in their respective leagues so far this season. Spurs with 11 points from the first 7 matches. That's in England. And for Bayern, they have done much better. They're on top of the table. 14 points from 6 games. If that's anything to go by, then you should think that they should be the ones showing more brilliance in this. But that has not been the case. Spurs have held on to their quality. Bayern have refused to capitulate either. And that's why the scoreline is easy to calculate. Tottenham 1. Bayern Munich 1. And you just start wondering if we can see one final goal in the first half before it comes to an end, Samuel.
Yes, indeed, it will be exciting. You know, on the basis of the action we've seen in the first 45 minutes, it's been breathtaking football. I like the approach from both teams. That's Tottenham and Bayern Munich. You know, not in any way at all defensive. They've given it a real go, and that's why we've seen 2 goals in this one. So, but Tottenham, for me, just about to have been the better team in terms of organization. You know, the way they break forward as a unit and come back, and Bayern look a bit feeble when they go forward, looking up to the likes of Coutinho to do something magical. Like I mentioned earlier, Lewandowski has not really been in the game. The Tottenham central defense have really done a good job in keeping him quiet. And if for Tottenham, really, if they needed any inspiration going into this one, you talked about one earlier. I think it's the stats that says that the last time they beat Bayern Munich in a competitive European fixture, they did go on to win that competition. That's their last European trophy. So maybe this is a good omen for them. Beat Bayern Munich and maybe you can erase the memories of last season's defeat to Liverpool in the Champions League final. But I'm just saying, still a long way to go from here. It's just match day 2. We're looking at a very, very interesting group with Tottenham, and these two, are looking at, by dint of the pundits, are looking like the favourites to go out from this group. If you look at the other 2 teams in the group, so maybe a good omen for Tottenham Hotspur, but there's still a long way to go. Like I mentioned, first of all, they have to come through this game, but they've been the better side for me in the first 45 minutes so far.
Well, we just spoke about expecting a goal, and maybe Bayern have a chance to make that happen in the 43rd minute of this. Tongai Ndombele having his name taken down by the centre referee for a foul on Coutinho. Free kick up next for Bayern from just about 25 yards out. Robert Lewandowski, the Polish man, staring at the ball, staring at goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, trying to make the right decision, take a shot with precision. As we await the free kick, Lewandowski has enough time to clean off sweat off his face. Wow. He's the only man who's going to be taking this, so he certainly knows what he wants to do here. He scored 12 goals for Bayern this season. Lewandowski steps forward. Lewandowski takes a free kick, and he never was going to trouble goalkeeper Hugo Lloris. Went past the wall. Was there some deflection? Yes, there was. So there's going to be a resultant corner kick for Bayern. Just about to confirm that for you. Yes, there will be, and Coutinho set to take that one on the near side from the left side of attack for Bayern. It's done into Inga. Coutinho puts it through, and Spurs sluggishly put the ball out for a throwing on the far side. Toby Alderweireld, really have to get amazed by how much tattoo this guy has on his body. And well, he's doing the great job, which is defending for his side, and he has to continue with that now as Bayern take that throwing. FCB, as they are called, trying to end the first half on a high. They've shown quality that you cannot deny. Talking about quality, that's what Lewandowski has done there. Chance for a shot now. Bayern have a player on the floor, perhaps calling for a penalty. The referee will have none of that. Wow! The feeling is delirious as their desire to win this game has become even more serious. With that strike from Lewandowski, that was glorious. Now they can start dreaming of being victorious. Bayern have scored a second goal here and lead Tottenham Hotspur by 2-1 in the 45th minute of this fixture. And that came out of nowhere from the Polish man, Robert Lewandowski. He's now scored against 40 teams in the UEFA Champions League. The man from Poland who's 31.
That was the belter of a goal, to be honest. Great move there from the right hand side. I think he was the one who actually started it.
He started it.
Then there was a shout for a penalty in the Etihad area when someone went to the floor, but the referee said play on. He was back in the goalpost on the edge of the Etihad area. Ball fell nicely for him. How he quickly turned, and of course Jan Ventogen and co left him, and he just turned around and swiveled and hit that ball to the left hand side of Tottenham's goalpost, with the goalkeeper scrambling at that point in time. I want to say brilliant goal from the Polish international. You guys have been talking about how non-existent it's actually been, and every time you guys mention it, I don't know if you saw my face, I was just chuckling. The reason I was chuckling is where Robert Lewandowski can almost always be like that and not do anything, but always at the right place at the right time to get you a goal. And that's exactly what he is actually done right now. Great one for Niko Kovac if his team can hold on to this lead, to the end. But of course, Mauricio Pochettino and his Tottenham side will have a lot to say about that one. And it just sets the second half up for us, to be absolutely amazing. And we're looking forward to that one.
What a way to end the first 45. Robert Lewandowski having the final say as the centre referee has signaled the end. And we have to wait for the next 45 coming up in just about 15 minutes time. Bayern going to the break, leading away from home in London by 2-1 against Tottenham Hotspur. And what a way to wrap everything up. He, like Samuel said several times, was very quiet by his high standards. But the great striker does not need too many opportunities to announce his presence. And at that time, Lewandowski just showed his essence, as the case is. Let's quickly run through the halftime scores of the other matches that we have covered for you right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info, as we keep enjoying unraveling excitement from the UEFA Champions League. Olympiacos going to the break away from home, leading by 1-0 against Red Star Belgrade. It is Manchester City 0, Dynamo Zagreb 0, Juventus 1, Bayer Leverkusen 0, Lokomotiv Moscow 0, Atletico Madrid 0, and Galatasaray 0, PSG 0. We'll be back shortly with your comments through Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and the phone lines. And we have so much more to come, courtesy of the UEFA Champions League Matchday 2. through the phone lines too. You can tell us what you made of the action in the first 45 minutes of the games that we've covered for you. And of course, the two fixtures that took place earlier. One of those where Real Madrid had to come from 2 goals down to make it 2 apiece.
Hey, what's up, my people? This is Two-Face Idibia, and you're listening to Femi and the Gang on Nigeria Info FM. One love, man.
Call us on 01-277-0993, 01-277-1993, 01-277-2993, and 01-277-3993. This is Nigeria Info. We are listening.
So those are the platforms through which you can communicate with us, at least the options for the phone lines. Hello, welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Good evening,
Thomas. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening, guys.
Yeah, they're all saying hi. Let's meet you, please.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my senior from sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Concerning the Tottenham Bayern games, good one for Bayern. Lewandowski, some people say a great striker. You just give them one simple chance and they find the back of the net. So that's what I think for Lewandowski. And for Manchester City against Dynamo Zagreb, maybe they are feeling the impact of losing Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Kevin De Bruyne in that team, so maybe that's why they're still struggling.
Thanks for calling in. Man City hit. And you can go and learn from people whose lives do glitter. And that's what I'm going to straight away. And this one from Kelechi Divine with the handle at Kelechi Divine _N says, I have never done something this silly before, but it is what it is. As I'm typing this tweet, I'm actually listening to Nigeria Info Lagos and Nigeria Info Port Harcourt. What a talented brand. Kuwazobia Info, Chuma Sawadino Foma, plus my dinner equals balanced diet. Good job, guys. He says, thank you so much. Good to hear from you.
You two different places.
My word. It's tough, isn't it? I know about people listening to or watching 2 different TV screens at the same time, but having people listen to 2 different radio stations at the same time is a talent in its own right. So shout out to you for that talent, man. And thank you for your support. We do appreciate you full time. Let's go to Facebook now, where there are so many comments also. This is, I'm enjoying you guys. And this is from Udim Isaac. Keep up with the good work. By the way, you can watch us live on Facebook. If you're wondering how, you can also drop your comments there. It's www.facebook.com/NigeriaInfoFM/videos. All right, you're going to see us streaming live there. As the second half is just about to get on the way, and we'll read out more of your messages as we go on. Stay with us. Let's take you through this. Tottenham will be kickstarting proceedings because it was Bayern who had that privilege in the first half, and Spurs trailing by 2-1. They really have to fight back, don't they? And this is their chance to make it happen. All right, here we always move around like the very famous Jack Sparrow, traversing even through areas that are narrow. Ready to go as far as the Portuguese city of Faro, just to bring loads of live footballing action to you that cannot be pierced by an arrow and delivered to you through your radio set and not with a wheelbarrow. Because right here we talk about issues that touch you down to your bone marrow. And right now we're taking your excitement levels to the height of Mount Kilimanjaro. It is Femi and the gang in house, bringing to you live coverage of UEFA Champions League action on March Day 2 for the 2019-2020 season. Star focus for us is now this moment of Hotspur against Bayern Munich. Spurs trailing by 0-0 at home. Harry Kane has just gotten a yellow card from the centre referee. We've seen 70-80 seconds of football. In the second 45, Spurs with their white top on the white shirt. Danny Rose is brought down by Kingsley Coman, but he has now had cause to arise. And he's back on. And it is Spurs who are now playing from right to left, meaning that they are defending towards the right side and attacking towards the left. And for Bayern, well, it's the red top on the red shirt. They are playing from left to right. These days we're used to seeing players with a wide variety of colours of their boots, more like rainbow colours. It's gone are the days where and when we used to see the regular boots colour being black and white. These days we see more than that. And that's what you also do have on the fits of the players for the respective sides in Bayern and Tottenham. As the German team come through now with an opportunity to attack. Looks like there's been a barrage of physical challenges coming through from Spurs players in the last 60 seconds or so. But here they come now, Tottenham. Harry Kane from the right side puts in a cross. Try to find Dele Alli, who just was nowhere to be found to get that. And Bayern now can start rebuilding. Coutinho in the half of the English side. Coutinho puts the ball through to the left. A cross comes in from that left, and great job by Jan Vertonghen to clear that out. And it's back to Bayern again. Coutinho. Going to be a chance for a shot to be taken by Robert Lewandowski, but Spurs had bodies on the line. It was Jan Vertonghen again who ensured that the ball couldn't go beyond him to his goalkeeper. Lewandowski has scored one already. Spurs want to ensure he doesn't find the back of the net a second time, at least not in this match. A bright start to the second half, just like we had in the first 45. If this is anything to go by, Samuel, we should be in for some treats. Because these teams are fighting, no one wants to retreat.
Yeah, definitely. You can expect from such a high quality fixture. And Bayern Munich ending starting the first half the way they ended starting the second half rather the way they ended the first half. So, looking really, really good for this one, Bayern Munich. They are, a bit more comfortable than they were in the first half, especially because they have that, lead. They are now in front against Tottenham. For Lewandowski, failed to mention in the first half, he has now scored in 40 Champions League matches in his career. That's a massive record. Only the greats, the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Raul and Van Nistelrooy have better records than him in the Champions League. So credit to him. But Bayern Munich really looking good in the second half. Tottenham, sometimes the way they go for it, a bit not pattern like Bayern Munich. Tottenham just breaking. They've got a lot of pacey players, like we can see on this occasion right now, but it's amounted to nothing for Tottenham. They break not like Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are a bit more pattern, looking at the creative players like Coutinho and co. They have a bit of a pattern to the way they break forward. But for Tottenham, for all of their pace, for all of their trickery, I think they need to do a bit more, like what Bayern Munich is doing right now.
Bayern Munich just coming with some attacking impetus. Apparently in the first 45 when they scored that second goal, I spoke about it. Spurs with a chance here. First off, he did all the hard work. Dele Alli. His name is not one we mentioned too often in the first half, but he's coming to the second 45, trying to up the ante. And he took that shot, but he went straight to goalkeeper Manuel Neuer, not troubling the German in any way. Just like Samuel said for Robert Lewandowski, 40 different Champions League games he scored in right now, and not 40 different oppositions, if you had heard that in the first half. Just to clarify, 40 different Champions League games and not 40 different oppositions. As Manuel Neuer has a feel of the ball himself too. Finds Sule. Bayern can take their time now because they lead away from home by 2-1. 51 minutes on the clock. And they are still chasing the ball like they're chasing a flock. This Bayern side. Son Min-hoon, great export from Asia. He was one of the standout players for Spurs last season and has proved his mettle in this game so far, but he needs to do even more because they need to fight back to restore parity with the scoreline. Great run there by Serge Gnabry. Basically single-handedly trying to take on 3 different Spurs players.
I thought that was
that Christian Coleman, pardon me?
And then he goes to the floor.
Well, it just gets crazy sometimes from distance when you see the hair. Gnabry is full. Coleman is full to at least not on the sides but at the top. They did quite a great job running at 3 different Spurs players. Was good enough to lay the pass back to his counterpart, but then I think there was a bit of clash of bodies and he fell to the top, holding on to a delicate part of his body, Ufoma.
Yeah, that part between your pelvic,
people who love to call it his family.
Yeah, of course. For us guys, it's family. It's everything,
Is it?
It's everything. But the good news is that Chris Coleman is fine. I don't know why I call him Chris Coleman. Just reminds me of the former Fulham and Welsh manager. But see, this young man has actually won a lot in his young age, from PSG to Juventus, now at Bayern Munich. If you count the number of trophies he's won, even as he's running at the
chance for a shot! Whoa! Serge Gnabry!
Wow.
A former Arsenal man has just scored against their great rivals Tottenham Hotspur. How much joy would that give Arsenal fans who are neutrals watching this?
They would love it. One is loving it here in the studio already.
Tottenham Hotspur may be playing in London, their home, but Gnabry has ensured that they are undone as Bayern lead by 3-1 after 53 minutes.
It was an absolutely brilliant run from Serge Gnabry. I'm amazed at his transformation. So he's always had that talent. Had some crazy injury worries that, of course, ensured he didn't play for some time, and then he went on that loan to West Brom. And unfortunately, the West Brom manager at the time was more concerned with his solid, rigid kind of football as opposed to free-flowing football. And of course, Serge Gnabry didn't have that time. Unfortunately, also for the Arsenal fans, he was sold And Chuma saw that run from the touchline, ran at the Tottenham defense, got into the 18-yard area from that left-hand side, cut into his favorite right, and let fly that wonderful strike, which of course the goalkeeper Hugo Lloris absolutely didn't see coming. 3-1, and I think Bayern have just about given themselves a foothold in this game. But of course, there's still a lot to play. There's at least 30 minutes left in this game. One goal from Tottenham Hotspur, and of course, it could be game on. While we're crying for these goals in some other centres.
Begging for one.
It's been a dry day, hasn't it? As Bayern have a chance to make it 4! Serge Gnabry, the name on the lips of all Tottenham Hotspur fans right now. They're enjoying themselves. Basically, it's an experience for Gnabry that's delirious. Well, unfortunately, the fans of Tottenham Hotspur are left to be furious. Even Mauricio Pochettino is a bit curious right now, not too sure of what to say about what's happening. A mistake by Danny Rose. Gnabry scoring twice in the space of just over 2 minutes. And Bayern are decimating Tottenham here. They're used to doing this against another London side, Aaron Day. And the man that used to play for that other London side, Arsenal, is the one propelling Bayern as the lead Tottenham Hotspur in London by 4-1.
I think for me, Chuma, even though, to be honest, when you want to count the teams who you think are favourites for the Champions League title this season, I'm not sure either of these two teams, neither Bayern nor Tottenham, will be mentioned amongst the top 3 or top 4. But Bayern's 4-1 lead at Tottenham Stadium just puts into perspective, all that talk of Bayern almost always dominates the Bundesliga because they have that edge. They score, they win games 6-0, 5-0. There's less competition, and all that. But we've seen Bayern do this same thing to Arsenal seasons gone by, not once, not twice, where they've thrashed them by, that many goals, even go as far as coming to the Emirates to even get wins at sometimes. And, for them to actually come to Tottenham, one of the top 3, top 4 clubs, if you want to put them in that rank, at least in the last 2-3 seasons, and totally decimating Tottenham, it just tells you the kind of quality that they have. Young stars who are fearless, who are ready to, do whatever it is that they want to do. But Tottenham themselves this season haven't been good enough. Remember Pochettino just in the build-up to their game last weekend saying how the fans are actually right to criticize them. Tottenham haven't been good this season, and all of those inefficiencies are being exposed by the pace of Coleman on one angle and of course Gnabry on the other. You could say that the goal just before halftime, maybe not totally. I don't want to say against the run of play because it was end-to-end stuff. Both sides were actually getting chances, but maybe we didn't see that one coming. But of course, the way they've actually come here, giving Tottenham a run for their money, being in their faces, not coming to sit back, as if they wanted, they came for a draw. But giving Tottenham as much as they've got, it's no surprise they actually have 4 goals.
Well, Bayern Munich now have to defend. They may be leading by 4-1. Like Ufama just reminded you after 58 minutes, but now they have to defend a free kick for Spurs. From the right side, Manuel Neuer puts that out comfortably. It's becoming a frustrating night for Spurs, but the referee points towards the penalty spot. Kingsley Coman, I think, was the guilty party. Manuel Neuer is saying something to the referee. Danny Rose is the man who fell to the turf. I don't think it should have been a penalty. I'm sure the referee will have to consult VAR.
I think it is. He didn't get the ball. He hit Rose. He didn't get the ball actually. And if you do that in the 18-yard area, outside the 18-yard, you call it a foul.
Rose's studs were, high up. I think
it was.
If he'd made contact with Gnabry, that would have been even more dangerous than the foul he is claiming to have been, received there.
Well, but Rose got the ball. You could argue that.
I think we have to go to VAR to confirm. I thought that was harsh.
I think it's a penalty.
Well, the Frenchman.
I'll be surprised if they rule it out.
Referee Clément Turpin, maybe 37, but he's hugely experienced when it comes to handling Champions League games. He's communicating with the VAR team. Final confirmation is going to be coming through in a bit. And his first response to that was a penalty for Tottenham. He thought Coman was guilty of a foul on Danny Rose. The penalty stands so far.
So it's a nailed-on penalty. Nailed-on.
It is a penalty. It's certain. Manuel Neuer having to face Harry Kane. The Englishman staring at the ball and the German goalkeeper. An opportunity for him to cut the deficit for his side, who trail by 4-1. This will give them cause for some fight back with 30 minutes of regulation time to go. Harry, not in a hurry, takes this one and scores! Many times he sweeps across defenses like a hurricane. This time around he just had to do that against Manuel Neuer. Harry Kane. Not necessarily has he given Tottenham Hotspur the gain, but he has relieved their pain, as now the trail by 4-2 and not 4-1 as the case was some seconds ago.
I wonder why Manuel Neuer is complaining. That was a cracking penalty. There was no way he was going to get to that. When you hit the penalty, not so much in the corner of the net, but swerving away from the goalkeeper, the more he tries to get close to it, the more he moves away from him. That was a good penalty. I still think that penalty was a bit harsh. When you look at the intent from Danny Rose, his studs were high up. Gnabry may have made contact with him, but I thought the intent should, I don't know, I'm not trying to create the rules for him, but the intent going into that challenge from Rose was very, very dangerous. But he's unlucky there to, concede the penalty, Kingsley Coman. But Tottenham have a lifeline. They're back in this one, 4-2, 61 minutes into this one. They have ample time, to try to rescue something from this game. So good one for Tottenham. They're back in this one.
Well, there's a goal out there at the Juventus Stadium. It's the home side who have gotten their second. Benadashi, great move from Cristiano Ronaldo and Gonzalo Higuain. Cristiano Ronaldo had a 1-2 with Gonzalo Higuain, who tried to set up Ronaldo, but Ronaldo missed that one. Fell nicely for Benadashi. He had to just adjust his body back and hit his left-footed shot past the goalkeeper, even as the referee trying to get confirmation if there was a bit of a foul in the build-up to that one. I'm not sure I saw any. I think it's a legitimate goal, and we'll wait for VAR to actually confirm that one. But just to touch on that intention or not, I'm sorry, Samuel. Nobody checks for intention at that point in time. You go out, you raise your leg up, try and get a ball. You don't get it. Your opponent gets the ball off you, even if he has a high boot, and then you hit the under of his underneath of his foot.
I'm thinking if he had made contact with Coman
and
in that
Coman
instance,
got the ball.
Would that have been given as a penalty?
Coman is in his half now. He will begin as and a yellow card.
It could still be given as a free kick against the Tottenham player if the boot was so high.
Exactly.
If he had made serious contact.
If Coman got the ball first and he got Coman, that's a yellow card all day, every day. Unfortunately,
sometimes the rules are a bit too twisted,
if it was the other way, because it can't be a penalty there, it's just a free kick and a yellow card. That's what it would have been. It's as simple as that.
Well, it looks like it has escalated quite quickly in other centres. Ufoma just told us about Juventus leading Bayer Leverkusen by 2-0. That's the same scoreline in favour of Atletico Madrid, as there was a chance there for Sissoko for Spurs, but he ballooned it over the bar. That could have passed for a good penalty in rugby, but not in a football match. The strike way over the bar, that. And just went to the stands where you have the fans.
I think he's been watching too much of the Rugby World Cup currently ongoing
in Japan, right?
In Japan, sorry.
Well, Tonga Ndombele is the man who's been sacrificed on the altar.
Why?
Of Christian Eriksen, who comes through for Tottenham Hotspur. It's a quest to galvanize the team. In their previous Champions League game, they were leading by 2-0 and let that slip. Now they are trailing 2-0 from a 4-2 score line. Can they fight back? That's a question that's going to be answered, as we still do have 26 minutes of regulation time to go. Yao Felix and Thomas have been the goal scorers for Spanish side Atletico Madrid, who lead Lokomotiv Moscow in Russia by 2-0. And we also do have PSG, who've taken the lead away from home in Turkey against Galatasaray. It is the star striker from Italy, I'll make that Argentina, Mauro Icardi, who of course made his name at Inter Milan. Icardi with a goal for PSG, who lead Galatasaray 1-0 after 65 minutes. So now the goals are coming through. The only match, surprisingly, without a goal, not sure that even the bookies would have gotten this, is Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium against Dynamo Zagreb.
People's sleeps are going up in smoke, trust me.
Bayern Munich now want to ensure that the hopes of Tottenham go up in smoke. But Hugo Lloris came out to ensure that his team's back will not be broken more than it is at the moment. Dele Alli, can he hold on to the ball? No, he cannot. He's calling for it from the ball boys. Throwing on the near side, which is the left side of attack for Spurs. Sissoko. 2 balls on the field of play, which should not be the case. But there's going to be a chance for Eriksson!
What a save.
Just a few inches over the bar, or did Neuer have a hand to that?
Yeah, he did
touched
actually.
it.
What a strike by Eriksson. He just came onto the field. And boy, are we already feeling his presence. Oh, it was a fingertip save by Manuel Neuer. But perhaps enough to salvage something from that. It is a corner kick now for Tottenham from the right side. An outswinger, that one. Back to Spurs again from the right side of attack. Dele Alli was trying to get the ball. Looks like he's guilty of pushing a player. Not too happy, but he has to accept it to be out of our road.
Yeah, City have finally scored, Chuma. Just trying to get confirmation of that one. Raheem Sterling with the goal there, 1-0. Finally. Oh, goodness me.
Of what cheese is that goal now?
Do you understand?
Of what cheese is City scoring now? No, tell me from of what cheese.
Well,
of what cheese.
Well, let's just be hoping and praying that our tickets will not go up in smoke today because of Man City.
And that goal for Manchester City ensures that all the centres have given us goals so far. And match day 2A of the UEFA Champions League. Watch out for match day 2B tomorrow. We're going to have enough time to borrow and talk about that later. Let's get back to the fixture at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Bayern Munich now. They've had superiority possession-wise in the second half. Ball goes all the way back to Manuel Neuer, who finds Sule. A long ball by Bayern, but did not get to his intended target, which was the half of Spurs. Ball still in Bayern's half now. Dele Alli finds Sissoko. Eriksson guilty of wanting to dance around with the ball too much, and Bayern get the possession again. Coutinho with the ball, push through a pass. Now they can come again. Serge Gnabry, he's gotten a couple of goals already. He's on the hat-trick if he can find the back of the net again. Desperate defending for Spurs now, but not clinical enough. The German side coming through again. Well, there'll be a chance for a cross by Kingsley Coman.
That's a penalty.
He was brought down. The referee says, rise up and move, my friend. No penalty given, but at the first view of that, looked like Bayern deserved one.
The ball will go out of touch, and we'll definitely wait for VAR confirmation. But I thought that was first look at it. I thought it was a nailed-on penalty, to be honest.
That's it.
Well, we need to see the other angle, don't we, to see if there was contact. This is where we will understand better. Yes, there was contact.
That's a penalty.
Hold it.
A clearer penalty, you could argue, than the one that went the way of Tottenham Hotspur. And then it was Danny Rose who benefited Right now, Rose is the one who may have been punished, but the referee says no penalty. Amazing stuff, isn't it? That is the kind of drama that football gives to you. Sometimes football gives you the kind of drama that will cause you to stammer, and that's what has happened at that time.
Just to paint that picture for those listening, it was actually a ball square to the right hand side. Chris Coleman was actually in the 18-yard area, and of course caught the ball back, and then the onrushing Danny Rose went two-footed, so to speak, and one of his legs, the right leg, actually caught the left ankle of Coleman, and he went to the ground. Maybe they're arguing that he tumbled to the ground a bit theatrical, but hey, I don't know. If that's not a penalty, I don't know what is, to be honest.
I wonder what establishes for a penalty. I think the first incident, what we look out for was there contact on the player. There was. I don't think there was any case for if it was enough to take the player down. And this is the same case, identical case. Yes, I personally thought it was not enough to take Kingsley Coleman to the floor, but there was bang-on contact with the player in the area.
And he didn't
two-footed challenge, nowhere close to the ball. I think that should have been given as a penalty. This time, again, the referee it's all just confusing at this moment.
VAR checked and felt it wasn't.
We need to start VARing the VAR.
Well, the video assistant referee was brought into football to help ensure that we have the least room for error. Well, at that time, it looks like the referee, watching this again later, will have to stare at himself in front of the mirror. We have Ivan Perisic coming through for Kingsley Coleman of Bayern. A man who was hugely linked to Manchester United some seasons ago as the final piece of puzzle, just to ensure that United were going to be a complete bunch under Jose Mourinho. He never came through. Dele Alli has been taken off, and Lucas Moura is in too.
They were never complete.
And it is several substitutions happening at the same time for Bayern. Jerome Boateng is forced off, he's limping, so his substitution is an enforced one. Javier Hernandez, so Javi Martinez is the man who comes through for him. The Bayern have 19 minutes of regulation time to hold on to this score line. They've actually, before this game, only won one of their last 5 games away to English clubs, losing twice in the process. I guess with the way things are at the moment, they're on course to winning 2 of their last 6. Trying to improve that record with this great performance here, especially with the kind of quality we saw in the first 10 minutes of the second half.
And talking about Bayern, they have won 8 of their past 11 UEFA Champions League home games. Well, this is away from home, so I think it's another chance to record another victory for them. But one man has come on for Tottenham Hotspur, and that's Lucas Moura. And for Lucas Moura, he has scored 6 goals in 7 UEFA Champions League in his last 7 UEFA Champions League appearances for Tottenham Hotspur. So I think good one for them getting him on. He seems to be the man on form when it comes to scoring goals for Tottenham in the Champions League. But he has right about 18 minutes to do that one for Tottenham, trailing by 2 goals. They need 2 goals to come back to draw 4-4 in this one. So good one to bring Lucas Moura into the competition. If you remember the impact he had for Tottenham in the latter stages of the Champions League last season, especially in the Ajax, in the game against Ajax in the semi-finals, scoring twice for them. So maybe he can do a repeat of that one to end Tottenham a draw in this game.
Does it look like Bayern and what's it called? Ajax are spelled the same way?
Well,
taken by Coutinho, who's also trying to get his own goal. Coutinho with a shot, but he was off target comfortably. Well, you look at Tottenham Hotspur and their run in the early part of this season, a bit of similarity with what we had in last campaign. Spurs had just 1 point from their first 3 group games, but went on to qualify to the latter stages and went even beyond that to the final of the competition. We know that in their first game they drew 2-2, meaning they came into this game with just a point. And if they go on to lose against Bayern tonight, it will be 1 point from 2 matches, and they would have lost a home game, putting them in a precarious situation ahead of their next Champions League fixture. Even though the good news for them is the fact that that will also be at home against Red Star Belgrade, a team otherwise known as Fresna Zvezda.
Chuma, just a quick update from the new Juventus Stadium. Cristiano Ronaldo has just missed a sitter, more like a penalty, I would say, because a great ball to set up Gonzalo Higuain on the left-hand side. He raced onto that one. He knew that Cristiano Ronaldo was running into the area, and he just, hit a left-footed pass across the face of goal without even stopping the ball one time. That ball just fell nicely for Cristiano Ronaldo. You would bet 9 out of 10 times that, of course, the Portuguese man would put the ball in the back of the net. Unfortunately, at that point in time, the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper was equal to the task. Juve still have their 2-goal lead intact, by the way, but that was a big miss from Cristiano Ronaldo.
Well, he's one man who you can always bank upon to score, but unfortunately, the start to this season has not been as quick as he's used to. You could just argue that age is catching up with himself, and it's not just a story around Ronaldo. Even Messi is struggling to find fitness to play, not to speak about scoring for Barca. Perisic may just have come onto the field of play, but is now guilty of a foul. We have your messages flooding our timeline on Facebook. You can watch us live. We're streaming www.facebook.com/NigeriaInfoFM, and you see the video, live video coming through. Fat Wealth Oluwa Joba on Facebook says, good to finally listen to Chuma the Rhyme Master in Lagos. I miss your commentary on 92.3 Nigeria Info Port Harcourt. We sure appreciate the time you've taken out to listen to us and also watch us this evening. We also do have our Twitter handle at Nigeria Info FM. The phone line to get back alive before we're done with proceedings tonight. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Bayern Munich 4, 76 minutes, 1st of October 2019. When we're celebrating the independence of Nigeria 59 years after. And you just have to look for anything that will give you laughter. And it is Tottenham Hotspur who are trying to laugh now. Eriksson should have done better with the shot. Was fed with the ball by Son Min-hoon, but just ballooned his strike over the bar. Had space, had time. Decided to take it at the first time of asking, more like a one-touch strike. And I think that was the wrong decision, and it's something he will regret.
Could have set himself up for 2 or 3 touches if possible and get closer to the goalkeeper to hit a more cleaner shots there, but Eriksson fluffing his lines. You expect better from Christian Eriksen, but Tottenham combined. Well, it's amounted to nothing in that instance there, but Tottenham are really starting to pile on the pressure. I think in the last 2-3 minutes, Bayern have, maybe with the substitutions they've made, they've sort of gone into defensive mode, looking to break on the counter. I think with the departure of Serge Gnabry in this one, it's taking a bit off the sting from them in terms of the momentum going forward, but they still have a very comfortable lead. 2-goal lead against Tottenham Hotspur away from home, so you can expect them to ease off a bit. And with all the running Tottenham are doing in this game, I don't think Bayern have any reason to be chasing them up and down the field. So just a bit of a defensive mode for them, keep it organized. I think it's more about organization now for Bayern Munich and game management rather than going full throttle in this game. They don't need to do anything, just keep it the way it is. Tottenham are the ones who have all the work to do in this game.
Coming into this fixture, Tottenham Hotspur had won 8 of their last 11 Champions League home matches, while they had also been victorious in each of their 4 games versus German clubs, home and away. Even though all those games came against Borussia Dortmund, now they've met Dortmund's elder brothers, I dare say. They have been exposed here, trailing by 4 goals to 2. Son Min-hoon from the left side, near side. Whoa. A bit of 1-2s, Lego Vaz as the case is. And he was guilty of 1 touch too many. Just outdid himself there, the Korean. And it just feels like Tottenham are running out of ideas now. They have 12 minutes of regulation time to go. And the earlier they did put their house in order, the better for them in their quest to get something out of this. And it is the side with the red top on the red shirt. Bayern for tonight, they look like Liverpool 2 Spurs, don't they? The colour of the jersey. Spurs losing to Liverpool in the Champions League final last season. Spurs losing 4-2 to Bayern here after 79 minutes. Next fixture for the English side will be away from home against Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League. And that will be in 4 days' time. For Bayern, they have a home game against Hoffenheim. Best way to prepare themselves for that, you can imagine. Let's quickly run through the latest scores of the other games that we are monitoring for you this evening. It is Galatasaray 0, PSG 1, Red Star Belgrade 1, Olympiacos 1. Milos Vulic has equalized for the home side. We have Manchester City 1, Dynamo Zagreb 0, Juventus 2, Bayer Leverkusen 0, and Lokomotiv Moscow 0, Atletico Madrid 2. 10 minutes to go in majority of these games. Sides are fighting for survival. Some others are searching for revival. In some race, you have to do better than your rival. Harry Winks is taken off. Eric Lamela comes to the fore for Tottenham Hotspur. If I didn't mix that up, that should have been their final substitution. So you think that should be the last throw of the dice by Mauricio Pochettino. If that cannot galvanize the performance of his side, then I'm sorry, they will have to go and get their house in order. If it were to be in Nigeria, the talk will be go back to the drawing board. You could argue that the drawing board should be filled up by now. Perhaps they should be using WordPad to put through the next tactics for the next game. Chance now for a cross by Sissoko. He opts to square the ball in, but that was the wrong decision, wasn't it? Sergio Rey, by the way. And the fans of Bayern are chanting. The fans of Tottenham are panting. I'm sure they should also be ranting because scoreline is not going their way now. Bayern put the ball back to Manuel Neuer. Neuer is very comfortable.
It's too easy.
He's known as the sweeper keeper, isn't he? So he can also pass the ball around like he's an outfield player. They're just caressing the ball, this German side. But eventually the ball gets back to Danny Rose, who finds Hugo Lloris. Lloris brought to be Alderweireld in the picture. Alderweireld with the long ball. And when I just spoke about Tottenham Hotspur perhaps running out of ideas, and it's showing here. We're not seeing that synergy that gives energy. The performance has been edgy in the last few minutes. The possession stats to tell you how much Bayern have dominated in the second half of this encounter. Kingsley Coman has really enjoyed himself here. You can say the same for David Alaba. Coutinho has seen so much of the ball too, just did that around that centre circle area. A reminder that Jerome Boateng had been substituted after picking up an injury. And so we're having a different centre-back partnership now for Bayern. There's an opportunity for a hat-trick. Is it going to happen?
Surely.
Serge Gnabry took advantage of Tottenham's defensive deficiency and converted that opportunity with so much efficiency. And right now, Bayern are enjoying a goal-scoring sufficiency as they lead Tottenham Hotspur by 5-2 in the 83rd minute.
Incredible. Amazing. Just short of words.
5-2.
Just taking a look at how, you know, that ball. I think that was Thiago Alcantara, if my memory, if my vision is actually correct. What a ball from almost close to his own 18-yard area to seek out Serge Gnabry, and the run from the youngster, my word, took the ball nicely, even though Jan Ventogen was bearing down on him, he picked his spot. Yes, he was Thiago Alcantara. The first touch from Serge Gnabry was absolutely amazing. Picked his spot to the left-hand side, and of course, just coiled it there with, of course, the goalkeeper going the wrong way. The young man has been absolutely outstanding.
Is it the same player that Arsenal once had?
Yeah,
I just need to be sure, because we could have players with the same name but not.
He's the same person. When he actually went to Germany, he was given out on loan. I think he was it Leverkusen? I'm not so certain again. Where he actually went, and played before coming back.
Was he Hoffenheim?
Okay, Hoffenheim. Where he actually went out on loan, played very well before coming back. But even when he came back, he wasn't totally into the first team. It was more like easing him. But after having that 1-2 seasons, and of course the older guns, the Robben and Ribéry, almost getting to plus 30, and of course losing that touch they used to have, it was quite clear that himself and Kingsley Coman were the future of Bayern Munich, and of course this season, last season, a bit shaky, if not that Borussia Dortmund sort of tailed off towards the end. Maybe Bayern would have lost out in the league, but in the last 3-4 weeks, that partnership with Felipe Coutinho has been really great, and it's no surprise that the young man has turned up in style at the ground of his former fierce rival, and of course I'm sure he would really love this.
He's loving it. He's loving it
the most. And of course, possibly if you check Twitter, maybe Arsenal will be trending. Possibly.
Very possible. Even though I'm sure that Arsenal fans would have preferred that he helped another team do this against Bayern and not for Bayern, knowing what Arsenal have suffered
in the hands of Bayern,
in the hands of his German side. Well, Gnabry amazingly scored just one goal in all of his years at Arsenal.
Against West Brom, I think.
Wow, that's amazing if you remember that. 24 years of age he is, but seems to be enjoying life in Germany. Found the back of the net in the Bundesliga 11 times for Werder Bremen before moving on to Hoffenheim, where he scored 10 goals for them. He was a scorer 10 times for Bayern in the Bundesliga last season. A chance for Lewandowski!
Oh, wow! Wow!
He does not need too many touches to announce his presence. And Lewandowski has completed the victory here for Bayern Munich with 4 minutes to go in this. They are 6-2 better than their host, Tottenham Hotspur.
No one saw this.
Harsh lessons. I don't know. I think Tottenham can, maybe to a certain extent, feel hard done by. But then you look at the quality of Tottenham, of Bayern Munich, real brilliance. I think this is the third time Bayern have scored from a defensive error from Tottenham. They're giving the ball away to a Bayern player, and they make good use of it. I mean, this was absolutely delicious. The build-up from Bayern Munich, one touch football. I didn't think he was going to lay that pass on. That's Philippe Coutinho.
Philippe Coutinho might have had a horror season out Barcelona. There in Spain, but I was watching the I think it was on Friday. Yeah, I was watching the
highlights.
No, not the highlights. Goodness me, Bundesliga website. Yeah, there was a 4-minute interview of Philippe Coutinho right there on the Bundesliga. I think it should still be there. Where he was talking about how it didn't really work out well for him in Spain, but he's enjoying his life out there in Germany.
Well, it's going to be a chance for Bayern to score another. Serge Gnabry has scored 4, and it is a 5-star performance by Bayern here, extending their lead to 7-2. Another error.
Another one. 4 times
by the defense of Tottenham, who seem to be a discombobulated bunch right now. They've just lost their composure, and everything they do leads to exposure. Daniel Levy is going to be praying that this game can just get to a closure so they can go home. Because the longer it does last, the more they are being decimated by Bayern.
Serge Aurier at this instance giving that ball away. I think Tottenham have got to be doing better. You're a top-class team. You're a world-class, if I can even call them top-class, because this is certainly not the performance of the top-class team. I mean, we have to respect these guys. They got to the final of the Champions League last season. So they've grown in leaps and bounds. But coming into this game, really, how do you give away possession 4 times, and on all 4 occasions you get punished.
It's the tactics from the German side. It's the pressing. They force Tottenham to actually make those mistakes. Truth about it is they are also clinical in Lewandowski, Gnabry, Kingsley Coman, Felipe Coutinho. You've got guys who have pace. Lewandowski might not have all the pace in the world, but he knows where to be at the right time, and of course he's done that and gotten goals.
But we can say same of Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, Tanguy Ndombele, Christian Eriksen, Eric Lamela. These guys are arguably of the same, quality. And
I'm not disputing that. But the truth of the matter is, well, one team have shown up on the night, and it's the team who've almost always done it on European nights. No disrespect to Tottenham and getting to last season's Champions League. They've got no pedigree in Europe. As when you want to talk about people who have won the title 5 times, yeah, 5 times. Is it 4 times? 5 times they've actually won it. That's talking about Bayern Munich. So, but let's forget about the history. On the night, you could argue that one team showed up. Tottenham started like a house on fire. In the first 45 minutes, it was a two-way traffic. It was end-to-end stuff. But the team that was clinical, and I think Felipe Coutinho has been a massive signing. I was actually talking about him and that interview he gave to the Bundesliga.com interview website rather, where he was talking about how he's free now, things are working well for him, he's enjoying himself, and he's been given that free role, just behind the striker, so he's almost everywhere, and that's how he also excelled. Remember, during his time at Liverpool. In Barcelona, he's almost forced to play from the wings, more like one of the front three, which really didn't bring out the best in him. But Bayern have used him nicely, and when you've got the pace of Serge Gnabry and Coman on the wings, with of course the absolutely amazing striker's instinct of Lewandowski and Felipe Coutinho just behind them, Chuma, that's a fearsome four.
And Ufoma, they could just be adding some more fear to sports fans, and they're having fun now, just dancing around R&D. These Bayern side, when you score 7 goals in the match, you frustrate your rivals, and that has been.
By the way, Cristiano Ronaldo has scored his goal at the old lady says 3 goals to nothing over Leverkusen.
Fantastic job by
Madrid. There, no goal.
Free kick for Bayern Munich. As I quickly run through to your other territories, Red Star Belgrade have now taken the lead against Olympiacos 2-1. We're counting down seconds now in some of the centers where the action will soon come to a climax. So many of your messages have come through on Facebook. It's really good to hear from all of you. And I'll try and squeeze in as many as I can just before we get out of the studio, as we have this free kick for Bayern on the near side. 9 goals in this match. It's a thriller, but it's not in Manila, it's in London, where Spurs are being undone by this Bayern side. The German team can take all the time in the world to take the free kick with all the concepts they want to use. The strike eventually comes through. They basically are just joking around, In Pidgin English, you say, use me, they play, Abi. Tolisso and co. Tolisso say no be so. As the referee signals the end of proceedings at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Spurs have lost by 2 goals to 7 against Bayern Munich. What a statement of intent by this German side in their quest to win their first Champions League title since 2012. Tottenham Hotspur may have been finalists last season, but tonight they have been decimated by a more superior force, and they're going to go back to reinforce themselves before the next round of Champions League fixtures. One man has stood out, shining brighter than everyone else, and that's the former Arsenal man, Serge Gnabry, who scored the hat-trick and added one more in the 53rd, 55th. You can add the more minutes he scored. 4 goals he has scored in this. Robert Lewandowski with a couple himself. Take out the S from that one himself. And of course, the players of Bayern can be proud of themselves now with this magnificent performance tonight. Some statements that other rivals to take notice of. As in a bit, I'll take you through the full-time scores from other centres. But let's read out some of your comments now. This from Maurice Maxwell Chile on Facebook says, wow, delighted to watch Chuma Nufoma live on Facebook for the first time. These are my best and favorite sports analysts before you guys left Port Harcourt. I really missed you guys. And he's saying, Chuma, did you invite Ufoma to Lagos? And he's saying, Oga Ufoma Hill. If there's anybody who invited the other based on the order of arrival, I dare say it's Ufoma who did, even though it's not, some talk literally now. Good evening, guys in the studio. I'm not watching, but listening to you guys. Good one. Please keep it up. That's from Ino Ojobo. Akano Fyong says Liverpool actually knocked out these two teams in last year's Champions League. Bayern in the knockout stage and Spurs in the final. Yeah, we spoke about that earlier, didn't we? Udim Isaac says, I'm enjoying you guys. This is Udim. Keep up the good work. From Matthias Tizi. He says, good evening, guys. And Beniza Ute says, this is lit. Bayern fan here. Thanks for the commentary. That's Tochuku from Ikorodu, isn't it? Good to hear from you, Tochuku. This one from Prince George Richard says, watching you guys while on my bed from Berlin, Germany. That's great. I'm sure you should be smiling in Germany because your German side have beaten, humbled, malleted, pummeled, whitewashed, humiliated, hammered Tottenham Hotspur by 7-2 tonight. I'll just take about 4 more comments and then we can slide on to the full-time scores from the other centres. We have this one from Hike David who says, nice one from Yao. Hoping Spurs pick up at least a draw. Sad, I'm sorry for you, man. You sent this much earlier. It was Bayern who got the last straw. AHM T-Boss, your name on Facebook saying, first time watching you guys live. Chuma, you look great. Thank you so much. This from Tyler Olua Bukumi says, nice watching you live from Austria. I never miss any moment of your commentaries. Really good to have all of you watching us from all across the world. We're here to serve you and we're happy you're enjoying it. A final one for the road on Facebook now. If we have time, I could get back here. But this says, good evening, guys. I'm watching you guys from the United Kingdom, London. And that's from DJ BSA Odofori. Good to hear from you too. Thank you for all your messages from all across the world. Let's get ready to go onto the phone lines, but only after we talk about the full-time results from the other 5 centres in the games that started at the same time with this star fixture for us. And I'm so excited. Now, before I got into the studio while prepping for the commentary, I spoke to Emmanuel Atom, of course, as the head of sports, and told him, Emmanuel, what do you think about the star match for us for tonight? I'm looking at, running through the Manchester City game, and Emmanuel said, Chuma, well, I understand popularity-wise, Man City, okay, but without any doubt, the star match is Tottenham Hotspur Juventus, and I told him Tottenham Hotspur Bayern, and I told him I hoped that the game was going to live up to the billing, and I'm happy now that he insisted I stick around with this game because 9 goals compared to Man City's game with just a goal.
Seriously, I forswear for you, but speak up now. Speaking of PG, yeah, no disrespect to Dinamo Zagreb, but come on, when Tottenham is playing Bayern, leave that game for a Man City versus Dinamo Zagreb. Really? Nah, absolutely not. This was the game all day, every day, and I'm absolutely glad that it lived up to the billing. It was great action, and the commentators' delight. First 45 minutes, saw 3 goals. Second half, wow. 6. Especially the last 5-7 minutes, it was just raining left, right, and center. And Samuel is stunned, I should say. I don't know if he actually put Tottenham on his sleep to actually win this one. If he did,
I actually didn't put them. I had it in mind to take over, the over thing we do over 2, over 3, over 4, but I resisted that temptation. Now see what has happened.
Yeah, and then the team, everybody looked forward to scoring the goals today. Manchester City decided it was just one that they needed, and they got that one against Dinamo Zagreb. But all in all, Chuma, it was a 7-star performance from Bayern Munich. Absolutely destroyed Tottenham Hotspur at their ground. But let's also not forget, Tottenham haven't been good this season. They just haven't been good. The games they've even won, it was a struggle, for them to actually do it. So any team who are quite good enough and know what they're doing will almost always get something out of Tottenham, and that's what we've seen tonight.
All right. Well, it looks like I'm seeing different countries on my timeline on Facebook this evening. This one from Barnabas from Nice in France. says, wow, I can't believe I'm watching you guys live. I'm enjoying it. Good to have you join us. Thank you so much. Let's get to the results now. I'll just take you through all the results for tonight, beyond the 6 games that we covered at this time. In Group A, Real Madrid 2, Club Brugge 2. Galatasaray 0, PSG 1. In Group B, Red Star Belgrade 3, Olympiacos 1. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Bayern Munich 7. Group C, Atalanta 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 2. Manchester City 2, Dynamo Zagreb 0. The Citizens scoring a second goal towards the end of that. Phil Foden found the back of the net in the 90th minute of that encounter. And in Group D, Juventus 3, Bayer Leverkusen 0, Omona Juve, man. And Lokomotiv Moscow 0, Atletico Madrid 2. That's why it's the UEFA Champions League. It always gives us goals aplenty, doesn't it? And we've enjoyed what we've had on show for tonight. I really have enjoyed having to run commentary on this one. Let's see if we can squeeze in 1 or 2 calls just before we're home and dry. So let's get to the phone lines right now. Hello, welcome. Hi, good evening.
Hello, Chuma.
Yes, sir.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Good evening to Foma and the other guy in the studio.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, Samuel, yeah.
Yeah, this one was a classic performance from Bayern Munich. You can see now all the talk of English football being the best league. I don't know, yet you can see how Bayern are tracking all these so-called top 3 English teams. You can see how they have done this to Arsenal and now to Tottenham. In all, good result for them. Very, very disappointed with Madrid on. Game on, continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 1 for the road now. Hello, welcome.
Chuma, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Samuel and Ufoma, good evening.
Hi.
Good evening, welcome.
Yeah, Coach Bernard.
Okay.
For me, I've said this severally that for me, I don't see Pochettino and Pochettino as the coach that is up there. We know they are having backroom staff and all of that, but it's a shame losing at home, 7-2. It's unacceptable. I think for me, it's days and numbers. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Wow, this is a man who just took them to an unthinkable Champions League final. You're numbering his days already. Good to hear from you, though, Coach Bernard. Thanks to all of you who have dropped messages with us on Facebook, also on Twitter, and through the phone lines. We appreciate all of those messages. We're sorry we cannot take all of them because of little time, but we enjoyed our time here. We're going to be back tomorrow for more of our live commentary experience from the UEFA Champions League. Proceedings will kick off by 7 with Femi and the gang, and then 7:45 the commentator will be in here to take you through the action. Thanks for coming in, Ufoman. You guys added so much life to the drama that we experienced here tonight.
Well, I think I got the best of both worlds. I was actually seeing 2 games at the same time. The Juve game and, of course, the cracker in London where it was a 5-star performance from Serge Gnabry. It was been wonderful. Yeah. Of course, thank you for having me too.
And Samuel, I'm sorry.
Your sleep don't call. All of our sleep scored. Except for the early morning owns. All of our sleep caught.
I'm sorry you tore your jam slip.
All right, again tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going for the youth league in the Champions League tomorrow.
Well, great round of action indeed. I mean, this is absolutely balmy.
Yeah.
Great to have witnessed this. 7-2. No one saw that coming for Mauricio Pochettino. I think the knives are out now for him. So we hope he survives the chop.
All right, before we're chopped out of the studio ourselves, let's respect ourselves by ourselves on behalf of ourselves and take ourselves out of the studio right now. Thank you for joining us for our coverage of the UEFA Champions League tonight. This is the nation's first news, talk and sports radio station, 99.3 Nigeria. For my name is Chuma Nali. Thanks to you for Mike Bamino and Samuel Akpan. And thanks to you for listening. There's more to come on this dial. And one more time, happy Independence Day to Nigeria. I should leave you with this. Use every opportunity to preach the message of unity, as that will give us some level of immunity against any state of impunity in this Nigerian community. Bye-bye.